Hi, welcome back, my wise astrology tribe, Cosmic Insight Astrology. I am your co-pilot, Krisztina, and look who is here today. I'm very happy to talk to KRASI, and I brought her back to you guys because her knowledge is like incredible, and we just have some kind of amazing flow, I believe, between us, and I just love to talk to her. Thank you so much, KRASI, to being
Thank
here.
you. My pleasure, Christina. My pleasure. Yes.
So, guys, we were talking with Krasi actually, and we wanted to talk about the Babylonian, the Vedic astrology, and also the tropical. So, we're both going to talk about the next 5 years. And, like, who can we overcome also? Because I quite feel like, I don't know how do you feel about that? But I feel like I'm the little chicken over here, in that cartoon when he was always saying, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. And like if you look around, there is absolutely social unrest all over the world, which we were talking about before. The Pope got in health crisis. We were talking that before as well. And 2025 most likely going to be his exit, his passing as well. We can also talk about political leaders if you want to, because obviously Trump's still in danger. And I just realized there is four kind of people. Everybody is interested, no matter what. And there is four kind of people: someone who loves him like crazy, someone who hates him, and someone, the other third party is like who actually pretend to hate him but secretly love him, and the other one who pretends to love him but secretly hates him. So that kind of four people over here. But somehow, because of we all interwoven, guys, we all connected on either spiritual level. Really, human life is like, it's incredible, how can we affect each other's. And that's why we are in this storm together. Doesn't matter what's going on, not necessarily with the same boats, but we're still together in this storm, and we're going to talk about the next 5 years. Krasi, tell me something about Uranus, Saturn, anything, the big planets, because obviously
Yes. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
huge.
Christina, thank you. We do it exactly this way. I will tell you the Babylonian perspective. You say the tropical astrology perspective, so people will see the difference, and it will be interesting. Now, so many things are happening in 2025. It is really incredible from Babylonian sidereal, so to say, because for the Vedic astrology is similar. So many events, really. I was thinking in 1 year and in 1 month, in April, all this happening, really. Okay, we're starting from Uranus, who in couple of days is entering Taurus, sidereal Taurus. Big deal for 7 years ahead. Okay, 6.5. Big deal. Uranus in Taurus. When we speak about Uranus in Taurus, we wherever he enters, my personal perception is we cannot say, oh, Uranus is fallen there, exalted there. To me, he is exalted everywhere. He is the big boss because of his very high hierarchy. So I don't see how he can be fallen somewhere, such a divine planet, which is about divine wisdom. So he in Taurus will have full authority on changing Taurus-like things. What is Taurus? Same for the Babylonian, but also modern astrology. Food. Also, this is the second house. This is our finances, of course. What could be the low and high vibrations of Uranus? The high vibration named divine wisdom. It is our part of our awakening, new divine knowledge for the collective, can be really amazing. And then you have technology which can go both directions, can be used for good, like Rudolf Steiner predicted you can use for your agriculture for very good purposes, but also it can be for bad, like artificial intelligence, all these new things, money stuff. But also Taurus is about the animals. He is the cattle. because it's a Taurus, right? It's a cow. So I see this as problems, a new agenda behind the animals, like they come up with all these diseases on animals, non-existing stuff, unfortunately. And then, of course, changing of the system of the financial system, which is also, I think, very unfortunate because it has to do with global control. And thirdly, of course, you see in a good way, maybe, because Taurus is also about art, new ways of art, new professions and so. But this is only part of the whole deal. This is Uranus. Let's go now to Saturn, who just yesterday entered sidereal Pisces. You see, this automatically may have impact because Saturn is so much related to money. This could be, deepening very, very much financial crisis to me. Even though he's forming harmonious aspect with Mars, how harmonious this aspect is, I'm putting big question mark. Mars is in Cancer. We have quite a serious influence on the water elements, natural disasters, more refugees. And when I was thinking, and yesterday I was saying on my channel about more refugees, I'm driving the car this morning and I'm listening how they are trying now to in Europe to make another agreement for the refugees to allow more, another stuff, another layer of this. So I think it is exactly how it works. More refugees in a very dramatic way. This is the second thing, And then thirdly, and I let you speak, Krisztina, we have this what is valid also for the modern astrology, Neptune-Saturn conjunction, which is happening once in 28, 30 years. And last year when it happened, we had what? We had a revolution, we had English-Egyptian war. It's very, very revolutionary conjunction. And I'm not even mentioning Saturn Rahu conjunction, which is in fact happening now.
Yes.
Also revolution. Yeah, I believe this can lead to world very important events. Like one is indeed changing the course of the current war, but it can be unrests, civil unrests, and even revolutions. But this is happening in July, and it can be valid through to August, and it has impact for the next 28 years.
28 years, right? Yeah, because of the Saturn cycle. But you know what? I was thinking I have to tell to the listeners over here, in sidereal astrology and tropical astrology, we do have 23 degrees between the planets ingresses. So that's very important when, for example, Uranus in tropical astrology and Saturn actually traveling the very late degrees, it's already in sidereal astrology as well. So we have very common course over here. And for example, when we were talking about Uranus right now in tropical is 25 degrees. It's conjunct with Algol in tropical, right? Uranus is definitely the Akashic record, and it is the higher knowledge. It's the big brother of Mercury. Obviously, there is a lot of knowledge, and it is a divine planet, a very humanitarian. But Uranus also detachment as well. And in tropical, I do, like exaltation and actually, what is that? The essential dignity of the planet. And in Taurus, we say it's in actually detriment. And Taurus does rules financial axis. And Uranus is anything to do not only with technology, but cryptocurrency. So because of now, it's also went in the Vedic astrology, it's went in Taurus as well. You know what? That's obviously right now, it is the intentional crashing of the market. Why is it intentional?
Very true.
It is intentional. As I said, no matter if you like, we talk about astrology, okay? We don't talk about personal feelings about politicians or anything like that, even if we have. But the point is, it is intentional. Why? Because of Trump, obviously, there is a lot of interview, what I was watching with him, and he says he loves the market very low because that's the only way they buy big amount and then they're going to become rich, right? So that's the main purpose of this right now, and with the tariff as well. And the other thing is what we're going to talk about, because Jupiter is export-import business, and it's also going to change signs, and Jupiter is exalting things, right? And in Cancer, in tropical, but Jupiter actually growing. So obviously the tariff can show right now over here. But I'm going back to Uranus, because you were talking about actually Uranus and some kind of disease. Yes, that is the food what we eat. So what we're going to still have, because in tropical astrology, Uranus is going to go July 7th to actually Gemini. And then end of the year in October, it's going to come back to Taurus again until next year, March. So obviously, it's still going to have a lot of effect on the Taurian energy. And Taurus is the food what we eat. It's the cattle, as you said. And, we still can have some kind of Metco disease, right? Because Uranus is the intellect, and the food we eat, something to do, it could be. But as I said, Uranus, when it's gonna go to Gemini in tropical, we're going to have a lot of amazing technological advancement with healing autism, anything to do with mental illnesses and cognitive diseases or neurological diseases. So that's gonna be the good side. But the bad side is obviously, even in Gemini, like what is Gemini teaching? And it is actually elementary school until high school, end of high school. It's going to be actually, okay.
Devastating for the schools.
Yeah, they're going to totally destroy the school system. You're gonna study at home, and Uranus is hologram, right? It's also holographic images. So we're going to have holographic teachers. So it's obvious, but I do believe, yeah, that's not good. No, I mean, it's scary. It is really scary. But I try to tell people, please go with the flow. Or even if we rebel, we can rebel and we can actually reject. It's good to reject, but at least study, learn, don't stay behind. Because if you stay behind, if you put your head in the sand, then you're gonna suffer, guys. So you need to study, you need to improve yourself. But that is Uranus. And I do see still some kind of meningitis, mad coat disease, things like that. Pluto is in Aquarius in tropical, which could be some kind of E. coli bacterial infection, because they poison everything all over. And obviously it could relate to also meningitis and mad coat disease and things like that. So we will see. We will see, but that's Uranus over here. And I do truly believe the stock market destroy, it's intentional with the tariff, and because they want to not decentralize but centralize cryptocurrency. Trump is really fan of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and he bought a lot, and he has his new coin also. So somehow they want to centralize this to be able to pay with it. And even if they don't tax it, because they said they won't tax it, but eventually when you buy and sell and, like when you pay for it, you pay tax after that. So maybe they don't really taxing what you gain on it, if you prosper in it, but when you are centralizing something, you are taxing in one way. So that's what they want. And that's why what I see right now with Uranian energy. And what was the next one that you were talking about? That was
Saturn in Pisces.
Saturn in Pisces. So we have Saturn in Pisces till the very late degrees. And guys, it does actually trine with Mars, but Mars is in fall. Mars is the fallen soldier. Mars has no, and actually, I do believe when malefic planets actually become detriment or in fall, they are very, very angry. They are very frustrated. So even the trine between them, because of Mars is frustrated and Saturn is cold, and and that's why they are creating social unrest. Mars is one to not obey the leader. Saturn is for example, the general. Mars is the soldier. They don't want to obey the general anymore. That's what it is. They overthrown. There is a lot of social unrest. For example, the US by tropical, US has a Sagittarius rising, and by tropical, we're going to have a Uranus return in the 7th house. Guess what's going to happen? It's already started. And when I said it, like I remember my very first interview with Lada, and people who they get upset when I said, what's going to happen, but that's already happening. It's unfolding. So that is what's going to happen. We're going to have a lot of social unrest, and a lot of earthquake, obviously. But it's not only, because, for example, Uranus in Taurus is Gaia. Taurus is the earth, right? And because of Uranus is shaking it, that's what's happening. Saturn is undeveloped land. It's something for example, in ocean. Something is merging from ocean, a new land, for example, a new earth. So that could definitely come with the Uranian earthquakey energy over there. So I see that, and I do see a lot of ships, going to have troubles, like export imports, ships sink, like something to do underwater war, as I said, Saturn in Pisces. So what do you think about that?
Very, very possible. I was even thinking, with Saturn Rahu together in Pisces, they can come up with another soup of cocktail of diseases and stuff. And later on with Neptune, who rules Pisces. My hope is really that Neptune, who is very comfortable, obviously, in Pisces, will not let them, because his higher vibration is not that, right? His higher vibration is certainly not to make people sick, just the other way around, to make people love each other and live healthy life. And so I believe because of the happy rulership of Neptune in Pisces, that they will not manage to poison everyone with the new stuff, but there will be attempt for new soup.
Yes, they're going to create something. Neptune is actually a viral infection. Uranus is bacterial. And Neptune, even if it's really comfortable and rules Pisces, the higher manifestation of Neptune, obviously, it's Venusian because it's the big system. Originally in the very Babylonian mythology, actually, Neptune, before it was Neptune, it had a female energy, and it was the goddess of the ocean and not god of the ocean. So what is it over here? Obviously, I do believe they're going to be something, and with Saturn, because they want to seize the energy, but I do believe they want to do a spiritual, seize on a spiritual warrior. So people like you, me, Lada, whoever on, social media, there is amazing astrologers out there, they might going to shut us down. I was thinking of that because Saturn is season censorship, and right now we are actually living in fear of censorship. So I really have to watch, obviously, what I'm, saying, because of it's. I mean, if you say anything,
Sure.
yeah, it's sad. But definitely it could be. And there could be a lot of beached animals. And when the planet is in Vedic, it's the beginning of the sign, and tropical, very end of the sign, that's when it's very powerful, guys. So that's why I wanted to talk, and we wanted to talk together, because when it's ingress and actually going out, the 2 karmic degrees is the most powerful. So that's when it's going to happen something with submarines or something with beached animals, because they are doing underwater activities. There is some kind of fight underwater. So that's definitely, yes, Neptune could be the higher octave of love, but Neptune is virus. So definitely it could seize us. It could try at least. But I do believe humanity right now does not take shit anymore.
No, everyone is awake.
Yeah.
Everyone. You cannot, there are no stupid people anymore. No such thing.
It's they try to be away. I still think, there is a lot, but because if you go to
Yes, but
travel
also they started questioning.
question, yes, And that's very, it's definitely coming something to light, and they start to question things. So yeah, I mean, but because you live in Europe, and in Europe, I truly believe education is totally different, and that's how I teach my children
I
over
think
here.
so.
Unfortunately, in America, it's not. And, when you even questioning 19, 22 years old college students, and they don't even know to what is, just tell me three other countries than America, and they have no clue. Europe? And their college degree, I mean, what the heck is going on? I mean, no, I'm extremely mad with the education over here. Thanks God, I'm doing it totally different for my children. But the fact is, like, at least they start to awaken. They're not going to be, well, Uranus is technology, and Pluto is poison, and they are changing signs in both of, right? It is in both of the Vedic and the tropical as well. And Pluto is poison. They try to poison us with what? Bottled water. Right now I'm reading a lot of book, and one of the study I was reading, they try to actually, the fluoride itself, it's not only going to crystallize your third eye, and then you're not going to be intuitive or creative. You're not going to have imagination. And it's also said the fluoride is the blue substance in the blood, so they are capable actually to manipulate you with the phone later on. Anyone who going to have an iPhone with 5G, 6G later on, or whatever, they will capable, because if you drank Coca-Cola or whatever, they put a lot of well, I don't know if it's true or not, but I
It is
definitely
true.
don't think. Yeah,
It is
I
true,
do
Krisztina.
believe. I
It is
do
true.
believe.
If you follow some labs, I cannot say now the name, which are watching under live microscopes what is going on, you totally stop shopping from big shops. We stopped really for this
Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
It's unbelievable. Very true. Very true. Uranus has very, very bad side and very, very good side. Depends. But here is the point is to say that it depends on us. It's a matter of choice.
Matter of choice, very important. Matter of choice. And in Buddhism, I became actually a Buddhist, and converted. And you are responsible the moment you wake up. You are responsible how you're going to actually vote with your money, what you're going to buy. I'm supporting the farmers over here. I rather to even
Yes.
go a little bit out and drive out to buy my eggs, and not from big companies, and support them. So I am really, really, truly supporting, small companies, whatever. I don't like to go to Costco, Walmart, whatever, because I just don't. I rather
No.
to go to the market. And that is about us and the way we respond, and the way we are actually intentionally going to create a better world, with chanting, with praying, with holding each other's hand, because there is going to be shitstorm. It's all right, but if we are standing together, they are not going to be able to punish us, or like manipulate us. So that's the obviously that's what they want. They still want that, but it's not gonna happen anymore. So that's it. That is very, very important, because of even in Vedic and in tropical, we have in late degrees or early degrees, and it's changing signs. So that's why very, very important. But
Very.
definitely Uranus in Gemini, it's doing really great. It's the genius over there. Obviously, it's air related, so it loves to be there with the little brother house. He feels like I'm so smart and everything, in bitropical. So there is educational background change over there. So it's going to be a totally different way we're going to learn, and our children going to learn. But definitely in Taurus, still, like centralized cryptocurrency, trying to break the whole entire system, the financial system. And yes. Okay, let's move forward. What else? And yes, and North Node. North Node is a collective karma, obviously with Saturn.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to ask you also that we discussed the eclipses, but before that, I was thinking also one thing because of Pisces and Neptune energy. This is also the medical system, which is never going to be the same. And I'm happy to see how people totally lost faith in the contemporary allopathic medicine, and more people choose for homeopathy, herbal, all kinds of holistic medications, just not the contemporary system because it is devastating now.
Yeah,
And this is
because
exactly, yeah, I think this will be influenced by Saturn, Neptune conjunction very much, like shift in the medical systems, shift, breakthrough, like there will, maybe more things we will find out about how to heal ourselves. People who made the mistake to take the thing back then, they will have maybe most probably ways to cleanse their bodies from this. There will be also very good sides of this, I believe.
yeah, it will because of that's definitely. And that's what I saw already. Because for us, Saturn was in Pisces and North Node
Aha,
was in Pisces, right? For us in tropical. And it is more compassion and it's more creates actually moving away from big pharma and the cartel, obviously,
aha,
no?
aha.
and uh, and the drugs as well. So it's good, and we're not going to get stigmatized by mental illness. It will be okay if you had some kind of trauma, that it's going to be cleansing and healing, and people going to understand why is it really important to meditate every single day or do visualization and things like that. But also, I do believe because of pharmaceuticals or, and I'm not saying I'm a nurse, guys. I'm a nurse, okay? I'm a surgical and a psychiatric nurse in my first degree. But on the other hand, like I did question pharma, and I'm not an anti-vax, but I stopped. Why? Because my son, after the MMR vaccine, and right now we have measles outbreak in America, all right? But after that, Jumbo just stopped talking, and it was very, very scary for us. And I was like, okay, let's see what's going on. And you have to actually cleanse your body. And by the way, if you did take the C19 stuff, let's say that,
Yes.
like you can actually use pine needle, white fir tea to detox, because that one is actually going to help to eliminate the spike protein from the blood. And you should take that for 6 weeks. I always tell everyone 6 weeks is the magic number, because even the mitochondria can get healed, and your DNA and everything can restructured during this time. Jesus Christ was fasting for 40 days, right? 6 weeks. Buddha was sitting under the oak tree for 40 days, 6 weeks. So 6 weeks, 40 days is the magic number with every kind of cleansing, guys. Yes.
Very good point. I didn't know it's 6 weeks. Very interesting, Christina.
Yeah, that's what, and I was like, whoa, all right. So there is similarity. So I started to check
Amazing.
and there is multiple in the Bible and in Buddha's life, and I was like, oh, okay. So and then I went in to do the medical part, and I was like checking the mitochondria and DNA and who does it affect within 6 weeks, and I was like, all right, okay. So that is a magic number over here. So yes, that's when you do the cleansing and everything. And anyway, I'm obsessed with Nikola Tesla and the 369 theory. And oh my God, he was a genius
He
person.
was.
So 6 for me, 9 and 3, it is like magic numbers wherever I see. So 6 weeks it is. So that's what we need to do. Yes, so I'm happy they are moving to herbs and like or grandmothers, get a little bit of honey, put that on your scrape, it did what? Or go out and nettle. My grandma had some kind
Neto.
of joint
Yes.
pain, you know.
Neto.
Oh my God. And it's give you blisters. And I was like, what are you doing? It's crazy. And no. I have joint pain and I'm not gonna have it. I was like, oh my God, masochism or what's going on over here? No, but she got healed.
Oh, I have no doubts. Like, yeah, you see this indeed more and more and more, and I'm happy to see it. Other thing, Christina, the eclipses. We have
Yes.
4 of them. 2, happened in March, and in September we have 2 sidereally on axis of Pisces, Virgo, and then Leo, Aquarius, obviously. How do you feel this will influence us, and what do you think about? Because we always say we kept saying, and we are now already in 2025. It feels like closing one page and opening another, right? With all these planets moving suddenly in another signs. Also, Jupiter is moving in Gemini. Tropical, he's already in Gemini. Yes, you said it. But he will be weak in Gemini against Fallen, right? In front of his, opposing his sign of rulership. I am a little bit worried that he who gives the abundance will not be able to support us so much, and he may not mean this abundance which we expect from him. That's why financially I see us entering a little bit darker place, the world, right? And with these
Yeah.
eclipses.
Well, the eclipse for us right now, it's in Virgo and Pisces, and that is definitely moving away from criticism and seeing the big picture collectively, which I love, and more compassionate. You see the social unrest all over the world and what's happening with Middle East, for example.
Oh,
Let's say just Middle East. People are really compassionate and awakened. So what's happening over here? Plus, North Node actually in Pisces, it could bring a lot of water in. Right now the river going to get, like we're gonna have a lot of flood, guys. And last year I was like, when I was talking to Lada, and I was like, oh, we need to do another video. But when we scheduled, I was like, I think we're not gonna be able to do that day because of I think we're gonna have some hurricanes, and we get 2 hurricanes, right? And I couldn't because we didn't have electricity, whatever. And I was like,
oh,
okay, yeah, I'm in Florida, so I am always affected. Doesn't matter where is it going, somehow, some way you are affected. We were okay though here in this part. But the Gulf of Mexico, it's not because of the Gulf of Mexico temperature general, it's higher, right? And right now, because of we do have a lot of issues with climate change, and the Arctic is melting, the temperature is rising with 1 to Fahrenheit. That's a lot, guys. That's a lot because we're not going to have actually glaciers anymore, and it's gonna rise. So the shores are going to be in trouble. And if the temperature rise, then we're going to have more hurricanes, obviously, because that's how hurricanes actually created a higher temperature. So I totally believe we're going to have huge floods. And in tropical, when we had actually Uranus in Gemini, Saturn in Aries, or whatever, we did have a lot of social unrest. We have wars, and when North Node was in Pisces, we also had a lot of floods. The great floods in Germany and Europe and France, and it's we lost a lot of lives. So truly, we have to be very compassionate, really watching the news, like, okay, get ready, make sure you are prepared for hurricanes if you are there, because hurricanes you can get prepared, tornadoes, unfortunately not. But Uranus is also tornado. It's the big wind. So I just also, not just earthquake, guys, but tornado as well. And you said, yes, so right now for us, Jupiter still in 22 degrees in Gemini right now. So it's in detriment. But we're going to have June 9th going to exaltation. So right now, when is it going for you guys? It's gonna
after
go
3 years, we'll enter. After 1 year, he's now going to enter a Gemini, 1 year
But
in
when?
Gemini, and
When?
any moment. I think it
Any
was 9,
moment.
any moment in
Okay, all
April.
right. So yes, because we have it in the very late degrees, so obviously. So I truly believe the crash is coming when Jupiter for both of us is in Gemini. So it's coming in April till a beginning of June. It's a huge crash over there. So April and May going to be very, very difficult because Saturn also going to change sign, right? So that's what it is. And also when it's, for both of us is in the same sign. And North Node also, you still had the eclipse in Pisces, right? In Virgo,
Yes.
Virgo Pisces axis. So yes, that's definitely, like issues with insurances, mental illnesses, high suicide rates, for example, those kind of addiction tendencies, cartel issues, anything to do with shady businesses behind the scene, what we don't know, it's hidden from us, that kind of situation in geopolitical areas. So we don't know what's going on because of, everything is really hidden from us.
Very true. One thing only, this climate change, what they're trying to sell us, this agenda, this started, I don't want to say on purpose which politicians voiced this. It was in 1996 who voiced this for the first time. I believe this is mainly due, and you say it yourself now when you're saying due to these planetary positions, there will be the climate will be such and such. I believe this has to do with planetary cycles, Earth cycles, and there is no such thing as real climate change. Because you can't imagine today, 7th of April, we have snow outside, which is so untypical. Where is the global warming here?
Mm-hmm.
I think this is another scam, and I think it is like you just confirmed, and I truly believe it is always influenced by the planetary positions, by the cycles of Earth herself, the planet. So, yes, all these hurricanes, I believe you're very right, but they come again from the planetary positions, which you just explained.
Yeah, we did have actually 18 years ago, when North Node, did its cycles around, we did have a lot of hurricanes, I remember. So we were slammed with hurricanes, and that was obviously in North Node in Pisces era. But I don't know, did you ever see the documentary of the Change of Gods?
No, no.
Okay, go and check Change of God. That's everything about astrology, everything about
Really?
the actually
Interesting.
synodic cycles of the outer
The
planet,
cycles.
the synodic
Yes.
cycles, and the wars, the flats, and that was an nine series. And I think it's available on YouTube. Maybe we have to buy it.
What's
I
called
know
got.
Change of Gods.
Mhm.
Amazing, amazing, very, very historical, very
I wrote it
historical,
down.
going back to before Christ, and it is like amazing planetary aspects and the synodic cycle. I truly love that, and it's intense, like an hour and a half and 9 parts. Like it's a lot of knowledge over there, obviously.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Krisztina.
So not necessarily global warming, but somehow the climate does change. But definitely it's connected to the, well, we overwhelm Gaia. We use all the resources and sources, like we abuse Mother Earth.
Abuse.
We abuse, and it's a living being. And how long are you going to be able to hit until it's going to shake us? Not shake us off, but might, like, all
Right.
right, it's what it is. And we will see, but definitely there is a lot of change coming.
Krisztina,
For
I will
sure.
interrupt you because I don't want to forget. This is something important I want to tell you. There is one guy who you probably don't know because he speaks only Russian on the Russian channels. But I will tell you, his name is Siddiq Afghan. Siddiq Afghan. Maybe he has translations of his books in English, but the guy is genius mathematician from Afghanistan. That's why maybe he has English channel. To such degrees, he predicts that you cannot imagine. He predicted already years ago the situation, the recent stuff. I don't want to say what he predicted. I understood very recently. Anyway, he said one key thing, and I want to know how you feel about this. He said, and I'm telling you, He's genius. He makes his formulas, his algorithms, and he's predicting just anything. And he said, don't worry, there will be amazing changes in 2025, some very difficult, some not. So, and he was explaining things mathematically, not like us, planetary. And then he said, but don't worry, the good people will not suffer at all. So you have time to change, he said. The good people will not suffer. And he repeated this 20 times. And I liked him because he's very pure at heart. And I searched for more interviews. You can't find many, but still, every time he said it, really, this year is a key year. And I tell you, the good people will not suffer. The bad which is coming will not affect the good people.
All right.
And I was thinking how to explain this planetary. Maybe it comes from these two sides of Neptune, of Uran, the two sides, the high vibration, which would be the higher love, the divine love, and then you have the lie, the illusion, and so maybe this. How do you feel about this? Do you think he's right? I hope he's right.
Well, we are going to an Aquarian age. And also because of Pluto for us in tropical going to Aquarius, that is very, very, very humanitarian. And it is a rebirth of humanity, and people are going. And, for me, for example, in tropical, Uranus going to Gemini, people going to be smarter and question things. And, like not take anything what is an order, for example. So it could be the change over there. But I do, when I did my karma webinar, and when I was also, whenever I'm talking about the duality, I always do readings with axis energy, even in my twin studies as well. And I truly believe you as a human, because I'm a Buddhist and I'm working on my human revolution and evolution, right? Over here on my own, and I choose how I want to feel and who I want to interact with and who I hold the hand or help, or just what kind of even like news I'm watching, not to get toxic from it. I think every single planet, as above, so below, as without, so within, we are capable to manifest the higher octave. And if you are knowledgeable, then you can make choices. And the choices is with prayers or with, actually intentional choosing a farmer over, for example, a big company like Costco, or actually Costco is best with the employees, but okay, like whatever. So say something else over here. So the point is, if you're choosing right, then you are capable to manifest the higher octave of any single planet. Saturn is not necessarily always malefic. Guys, Saturn is diligence and honor and hard work ethic as well. It's not only kicking us in the butt. I mean, sometimes you feel like it's kick you in the teeth and like, what just happened? Are you kidding
That's for
me?
sure, yeah.
When Saturn was on my sun, to like when it went to Pisces for us, whatever, it was on my sun, it really pressured me and kicked me and tortured me, let me tell you that. So yes, but I believe if you are conscious and making conscious decisions, then that is like the people are awakening. And if you live with decency and with integrity, you have morals and values, then definitely you are manifesting the higher octave of the planets. And no matter what, you will be offered if you don't take the cocktails, the formula, the negativity, the anger, if you don't going to involve, because what I'm doing, I try to not actually feed into other people's anger, even if it's very hard. Going to the grocery store, the lady is yelling at me without any reason, and I'm there, and of course I just want to punch her, but obviously I'm not gonna feed into the energy, and then if you are not willing to feed into anger, aggression, violence, and staying into your core, pure core, and try to find the light inside. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes we are angry, we are revengeful, we are hurt, we bitter. And just come out from that. The axis energy is very important. If you feel bitter, if you feel like you're Jupiter, you cannot grow, try to do some kind of remedies over there with praying, with anything. But I do believe, because of we are going to Aquarian age and because of we going to be more humanitarian, I truly believe, like we are getting more compassionate as humans. I
Very
truly
much hope
believe.
so.
I
Very
want
much
to
so.
know to send me actually the real name, because you said Siddiq Afghan or Sadiq
Siddiq in Afghan, like Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
Siddiq.
Okay,
Yeah,
Siddiq
because
Afghan.
he is from Afghanistan. My God, I couldn't imagine somebody could develop formulas mathematically. He developed them, and to predict, he would take the names of people and he would just say, and then I was wondering, my God, where is the free will? Because in astrology, we believe there is a free will and you can change the course of your lives. But the way he sounds, you see, my dog is trying to break in, I think.
Yes, I see, ma'am. Behind, yes.
Always he finds me, always. So you see, still I believe that even this can change. When you change your everything, you can change also your horoscope.
That's why I like evolutionary astrology, because I truly believe two-thirds and component of our existence can be changed. So that is actually the circumstantial, anything to do with, like who you going to surround yourself with. There is some karmic component in it, but you always can actually help your karma as well. I truly believe, like actually make it weaken your very, very difficult karma with remedies. And that's why I was like, okay, so there is an energy over there, but the way you act up onto it, that's your choice. So there is A to Z path in our life. We don't have to go to A if it's not working. You can go to C and D and F or whatever. Choose a different path and still going to
if you
get where
know
you
it,
have to.
if you know it,
If you know it. But that's why you
if you
need
know
to.
it, right?
Yeah. So knowledge is
Tell
power.
me, you also see you do palm readings. On the palm, when you do the palm readings, is it also so that you can, if somebody makes efforts to change, would these lines change as well?
Yes, indeed. Yes. So for example, the
They would
palm,
change.
yeah, they would. Yes. So you check the palm, like, for example, left-handed, right-handed. Right-handed people, the left hand is actually the birth map, and the other is like a transit chart or a progress chart, right? Because it's changing during the years. And I always tell to people, how do I see progression? Progression is like you born like a cup of hot espresso, and during the years you're going to become different coffee drinks. The base, the blueprint, the natal chart stays the same, but progression is changing, or solar arc as progression as well. So you're going to become a hot latte or a foamy macchiato, or a cappuccino. So you change, put sugar, honey, or whatever. The base of the drink is the same, the hot espresso, that one shot hot espresso in, but the coffee drink change. So that is over there. But in the palm also, so it depends which hand, or if you are male or female. It's also because of, the right side is the sun energy, the left side is the moon energy, that is the mother, the emotions, and the vitality and the force within is the right hand, So yes, it does change if you are willing to change. You need to take steps.
Ah,
You have to have intentions, but yes, it does change. Yes.
so example, if you, let's say, look at somebody's hand every year, once a year, you would see the changes on the palm, which is showing the future, not the one which is the natal chart, so to say,
Yes.
right? You see the
Yes.
changes.
You can say, for example, and that's what I said on Lada's channel, like I had one friend who wanted to divorce and always came to my mom, oh, did it change? When I gonna divorce? And then one day, like after 2 years, she was begging all the time, like check my hands every day. 2 years later, my mom, oh, right now it's not a divorce. It's actually you're gonna be a widow. You know, your husband most likely going to, and he did suicide like 2 weeks later. But you know, like yes, so it does change. Not obviously for everyone, but you know, there could be you can, and also you can see the age. You know, when it's going to become like okay, there is a divorce possible at age 40, but are you willing to work on it? And there is two people who needs to work on it, not only one, right? Because it's not enough you change your own, you know, it's coming from you. Obviously, you need to change your perspective, everything, but most likely, you know, relationship, it's two people. So it you know, both of them has to, but it can change. It can change, yes. Just like your progress chart or
That's
soul
my question, because I hope with this we give some. Yes, yes. I hope with this we give some good hopes to people from what this guy said. That he said you have time, change for good, and now you're saying that with the palm thing you can improve your life. Maybe one more thing we can say to people when we close it here, so that we don't become too alone. One thing I was thinking, Krisztina, in the summer of last year when they attacked Donald Trump with it was Uranus Mars right on his midheaven in Algol. This year now Mars will be Uranus will be right conjoined Algol, but not with Mars. So I believe there could be another attempt, but I doubt whether they will manage to finish him. This is my. How do you see it tropically?
Okay, so tropically, he has actually a progress sun in 9 degrees Virgo. His progress moon is 19 degrees Scorpio, and his progress Saturn is 4 degrees Leo. And he does have actually, Mars is going to go on his ascendant when it's going to go to Leo. First of all, Mars is going to oppose Pluto, and it's going to conjunct with
August.
progress
It's
Saturn.
August.
Yes, progress Saturn. So because of that, unfortunately, or fortunately, or unfortunately, whatever you like him or hate him, there is going to be something very malefic over there. And when Mars is moving
Risk.
forward and it's going to actually have a Mars return conjunct with his ascendant squaring Algol and Uranus, then it's another attempt as well. And because of we do have Sun node in Virgo, and the eclipse gonna have also on the progress sun, you know, there is a lot. And Saturn for him, because he's a Leo rising, it's in the 8th house. 8th house is either chemotherapy or poison, right? And Saturn does make, you know, squares, actually opposition with his progress sun energy over there. So, you know, there is multiple aspects for Trump which could be very
Risk.
unfavorable for his health and his being, his well-being. And it's not necessarily okay, I'm going to kill you, but it's something I feel like you might not going to be able to continue because of there could be a chemotherapy, there could be some kind of poison, and he will be hospitalized. Why? Because Jupiter is going to the 12th house in exaltation. 12th house Jupiter is malefic. And it's going to go through his Saturn, it's going to go through, you know, it's malefic, very, very malefic. And we'll see. Let me just check over here just for 1 second. I have Trump up here, and just if I'm talking.
I think, no, I think you're talking correctly. What I think, though, is that because he's astrologer and because he's working with astrologers and
Yes.
he's informed, he might be able to. That's my opinion, because he's quite into esoterics. And, since very ancient times, astrology was first used by the kings, exactly to avoid, to overcome what they see. And now I think he sees, he knows. And yeah, indeed, people like it or not, he might be able to overcome with knowledge.
Yeah. Well,
I believe this could be case where knowledge would be power.
Yeah, I think, he does. He did, like when they started the tram building to build, they went back actually because they wanted to feng shuize it, because they didn't do it. The gate was the entry was not on the right side, and they restarted it, when they started to build, because he wanted to have feng shuize the chart. Yes, so what I see over here, he
Oh,
does
see
have
this, I didn't
Saturn.
know. Very interesting about
Yes.
the feng shui.
Yes, but he has, for example, Jupiter in Libra, right? And it is squaring actually natal Saturn and Venus in the 12th house, and when Jupiter gonna go to exaltation in the 12th house, which is hospitalization, and it's gonna go on Saturn and square natal Jupiter, there is multiple things over here, and because of Saturn, progress Saturn
Risks.
also is in 4 degrees, and Mars gonna go there opposing Pluto, and also, yeah, and then Uranus and progress Moon opposing. Uranus and progress Moon opposing for him,
This is
and
heavy, yes.
and squaring Mars and ascendant in natal. So there is a lot, which is going to be uh,
Too many, and the Uranus on his Algol. Too many things indeed. But still, he's in a Jupiter cycle, which is, I think it will be changed by then. But still, I believe with knowledge, knowledge is power. That's why to know your horoscope is of key importance
very important. Knowledge is power for sure.
to
So
to
we
man
will
to
see.
try to overcome.
We will see what's gonna happen,
Mm,
but yeah,
we'll
that's
see.
what I think. All right, so yes, Jupiter, it's going for you
All
guys.
right.
Gemini, it's gonna go for us um, you know, in exaltation. However, between the 2 months, what we have with the planets when they are entering for tropical and it's already in sidereal, that's the 2 months that is very important, guys. So April, May is like whew, very difficult over here.
April and May, yes. Very, very,
Very
very.
difficult, I do believe.
Well, maybe we can summarize here. Just say really one very last point I want to make because we sound a little bit negative. Um, one is that in 1 year, when Jupiter will leave Gemini to enter Cancer and he will be exalted, then he will trine Saturn, and this is a little bit of a chance for the markets to gain some power. Not, unfortunately, not during this whole year until next April when Jupiter will be in Gemini, because we need his full power to support abundance. So the picture is not so dark. I believe there is a better cycle coming, but for now we need to be patient a little bit and very informed, very awake, not afraid, and know our horoscopes to know what to do.
Yeah, know what to do. Uranus, Pluto going to trine, and Saturn North Node in September 3rd and 4th going to trine. So that could actually indicate some kind of positive change over there, and Uranus and
Also,
Pluto
indeed.
trine, it could also indicate something positive. Plus, we're going to have like the top of Neptune Saturn conjunction, which is not really positive, but however, it's gonna sextile with Pluto Uranus, and it's gonna create a mystic triangle. I call that the saving grace. It is the shelter above us. So that's going to be also coming
It
out
is very
somehow
well said,
positive.
indeed.
Yeah. So we're going to
It
be
is like
safe.
divine protection for us, for the collective.
Yeah, for the collective. So it's not all
We
negative.
will. We will absolutely.
I just, we just have to be ready. If you prepared, if you know your enemy, you can win the battle, guys. That's it. That's it. That's what I think. So yes, all right. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And guys, just reach out.
Thank
Let me
you.
know how does
Thank
it
you too.
hold out for you. And we're gonna talk to you later. Bye for now.